The first portion of today's video is my public comment speech during the LaSalle, Illinois City Council meeting on Tuesday. It is pertinent that you pay close attention to the sensitive topics that were in my speech. The second portion is Mayor Jeff Grove shaming me publicly for not having these type of discussions in front of our children when I saw him at Walmart. After the meeting and the live stream were over, things got pretty heated between myself and Mayor Grove. You ready, John? Well, I thought this was the People's Building, but I was mistaken. It's now Jeffy's Circus. You heard what Grove said last time. Don't ever address the guys in the front row during public comment. He went on to say they can claim any words or harassment, personal jabs, even sexual harassment, forcing us to leave and never come back. That's against the law, buddy. Are you familiar with Title 18, Section 241, 242, Open Meetings Act, the Equal Protection Clause, the Cohen case? I already know the First Amendment can't ring a bell, but there is long-established case law. Mr. Duncan, as finance director, it seems like a waste of taxpayer money for you to be Jeff Grove's entourage member. Don't you make quadruple his salary? Well, on the books. I must request that you no longer aid in wasting the taxpayer money for Grove's personal agenda. Alderman, each and every one of you let the people down when you remained silent after Grove's rant attacking the people. You let that woman be accused of sexual harassment. You sat by as he continued on his rampage that was clearly targeted after someone testified about John's other antics. Not one of you stood up for the citizens you allegedly represent. You see, Grove cried wolf, claiming that a man here was sexually harassed because the same woman called John called a bored housewife. The same woman showed up here in an apron and duct tape covering her mouth based on his personal insults. Suggested maybe people stop coming here because he bragged about being with other women. Yes, being with is now sexual harassment and also gets you permanently booted. Again, this is against the law. Mayor, you spoke as if the public commenters were uneducated fools. I recall chatting with the professor following a college night class. This longtime cop brought up the euphoric feeling of choking someone during a private encounter. Are you telling me that if I decided to speak on that at a board meeting, that would also be sexual harassment? To publicly call out a wrongdoing? Don't our officers here get called every name in the book? How often does a cute female officer hear jokes about handcuffing someone? But during public comment, we can't call you what you are, Grove, a sexist tyrant abusing the people? After the mayor's rampage, one of you called a man a liar. How is that any different than the people also speaking their truth? At a previous meeting, I recorded Alderman Bassador stating to Jamie Hicks that he should try sex, that it would relieve stress. It was honestly my first time hearing such a strange comment in this room, especially since Jamie's wife was feet away. Mayor Grove, just days after the alleged sexual harassment, you used your mayor Facebook page to post about something called a tight snatch. So the phrase being with is a no-no, but a tight snatch is fine? I'm sure your female employees love that one, Jeff. Gross. You not only have threatened the public with forcible removal for protected speech, you spit on your own oath and expect the officers to do the same. We all know you could give a damn less if they risk their careers, pensions, insurance, and families. Several meetings ago, the day all the citizens walked out, I notified the mayor that he was hijacking public comment again. I was given strike one and told I'd be out if I spoke again. Last meeting, Grove asked if there were any comments, questions, or concerns. I raised my hand, filmed him nodding his head at me, and then asked my question. I was barked at, given strike two before ever receiving a strike one. He claimed I had my time to speak, while three other people that were public commenters were allowed to ask their questions with no issue, but not me. You have repeatedly retaliated against me for my journalism, my public comments, my attempts to redress, and my liberties. Why else was I singled out? By the way, you're welcome for coming here demanding someone take Rotary Park issues seriously. If you didn't notice, buses full of small kids will be there the entire week. You were just fine putting them in danger, Jeff, until an alderman finally said something after public comment that day. I notified you long before that speech, and like always, you did nothing and you didn't even respond. You have no decency left. I must request your immediate resignation. Don't take this personally, Jeff. It's simply that the people of LaSalle deserve better. For the remainder of my time, I will hold a moment of silence for all the women who have been belittled in this room. Thanks, John. Mayor Grove waited about 45 minutes later into the meeting before he shamed me for not having these discussions in front of our young children. I had called Mayor Grove numerous times prior to seeing him at Walmart or this meeting to bring up the topics at hand.
Anything else, John? I just have a rhetorical question to put out there. Gentlemen, as aldermen, as elected officials, Jenny, yourself, and Amy as well. I don't know how this is for you folks. I'm assuming you guys get busy 24/7. You might be at McDonald's, alderman. You might be at the hair salon or out and about. I know Jerry at the church could ask questions. Alderman Thompson's at Hy-Vee. Doc, you get questions. Joe, I know you do when you're on your route. Regularly. Lou, I'm sure you do as well. And Jordan, I know you do as well. So, and I do as well. And I'm very comfortable with that. And I encourage people to feel comfortable coming up and asking us questions. When you see us in public, you don't have to wait for this situation to come down to the meeting. I want to talk about this kind of interaction I had. It could have been a nice interaction, but it didn't happen. I was at Walmart, and I had my one daughter in tow. I have an 11-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old daughter. That 11-year-old was with me. And I didn't realize who this young lady was, who also had 2 girls probably the same age as my daughters in tow. And it was a very nice, cordial interaction. I basically let that person go forward before me down this aisle, not knowing initially who that person was. But again, it was, oh, hi, and then no dialogue. And I wonder why we can't have that dialogue there. So my 11-year-old, my 6-year-old are very easy to say, hey, Dad, I was on YouTube. I looked you up. Oh, that's that person that puts those videos about you, right, Dad? Oh, yes, it is. So, and I have no problem with that. My kids know that, and is it stuff they'd probably rather not see with their dad, but it's part of the territory, yes, unfortunately. But I think everybody should realize that YouTube goes both ways. So, these kids talk, they're at school, they might know these kids. The person I saw in tow had a girl who had a softball outfit on. They might play my team, my daughter's team in softball. Oh, you're so-and-so, oh, you're so-and-so. Oh, you're the one who comes to my dad's meetings and we talk about stuff and go on and forth. But it's a situation where it's a two-way street. Remember that everything we talk about here, everybody's family can see this, everybody's kids can see this, right? This stuff doesn't go away. Once on the internet, it's forever. So it's a two-way street. So I've had people come up to me and say, oh, I don't want to talk about it right now, Jeff, because I have my kids in tow. Well, I'm pretty comfortable talking to anybody about anything with my kids in tow, because I think that shows I'm going to talk with you in respect. So I take that as a kind of a red flag. But again, I'm just saying for the doctor, if you see me in public, my kids are with me, as long as you're not going to be denigrating in front of them, please talk to me, because that's all they know. And I'll give you the same respect back. But it should be, the tone that you come in here to talk to people with shouldn't change just because you don't have your kids in tow. It should be the same respect. That's just Jeff Grove's opinion. So anyway, again, I think us as elected officials, we're open to discussion. If you need to talk to us, we'll try to talk to you if you can. If we can't, Jack and I have had discussions outside. That's all part of being a small town. It's nice to be able to do that. Some places don't know who their aldermen are, who their mayor is. But again, I just challenge people, if you're gonna have that discussion here, and I guess it makes you think that some people just want to have a stage in order to have those discussions. Why not have discussions when we have that one-on-one time?
Maybe it's because you've treated me like trash every time I'm here. My children were with me, Jeff.
I didn't mention anybody's names.
Doesn't matter.
Discussion, potential action on the...
I stand by my decision to not talk about sexual harassment in front of children.